Hello everyone, welcome to today's session on Understanding Research Gap. This session is designed for UG and PG students to help you to grasp the importance of identifying research gaps and how to use them effectively in your academic work. Let's get started. So, what exactly is a research gap? It refers to missing or insufficient research in a particular area. Imagine reading multiple research papers and realizing that they don't focus on specific demographic or factor. That's a research gap. For example, if many studies discuss work life balance in IT companies, but none of the studies focus on women employees in Chennai, then that's a gap worth studying. Why does a research gap matter? First, it ensures that your research is unique and not just a repetition of existing studies. Second, it allows you to contribute valuable insights to your field. Third, addressing research gaps can help to solve real world problems. For instance, if studies on mutual fund don't consider young investors in Chennai, your research could address this gap and provide useful insights for financial advisors. Next, we are going to discuss about types of research gaps. First, theoretical research gaps occur when existing theories fail to explain a phenomenon or what new concepts need to be developed. An example of this is AI ethics research, which largely focuses on legal aspects but often ignores psychological effects on employees. This lack of exploration in AI ethics is a theoretical research gap. Next, methodological research gap. It arises when studies use outdated or limited research methods. For instance, many online shopping behavior studies rely on only on surveys but fail to include experimental studies or in-depth consumer interviews. Addressing this gap can strengthen research findings. Next, empirical research studies. It exists when there is a lack of real world data or case studies. For example, research on digital banking security may discuss theories but lack actual case studies from small business. Filling this gap would provide valuable insights. Next, population research gap. Population research gap occurs when certain groups are underrepresented in studies. For example, smartphone addiction research often focuses on teenagers but rarely examines senior citizens. Exploring such neglected populations can provide fresh perspectives in research. Next, knowledge research gap. It exists when there is insufficient information available on a topic. For example, studies on long COVID are still limited, and further research is needed to understand its long term effects on different age groups. This is an example of a knowledge gap that can be explored further. Now, how to find a research gap? Start by reviewing literature systematically. Look for contradictions. For example, one study might say social media increase anxiety while another claims it reduce stress. That's a potential gap to explore. Also pay attention to research paper that suggest future research areas. They often highlight existing gaps, further check for unanswered research questions, and explored less studied populations or regions. For instance, AI in HR research has been extensively studied in the US, but very little research exists in India. Identifying and addressing such gaps can add new knowledge to the field. Once you identify a research gap, follow the steps. Narrow down your topic to focus on specific issue. Conduct an extensive literature review. Develop research questions that address the gap. Justify why filling this gap is important. For example, instead of studying general employee stress, You could focus on stress among female IT professionals in Chennai. This approach makes you study more relevant and impactful. How to narrow down a topic? A broad research topic can be overwhelming. To make it more manageable, narrow it down by focusing on specific group, location or issue. For instance, instead of studying employee stress, refine it to stress among female IT professionals in Chennai. This helps in conducting more focused and meaningful research. How to develop the research questions? Once you've identified your research gap, frame research questions. These questions should address the gap directly. For example, how does AI automation impact job satisfaction in Indian IT firms? This type of question helps guide your study and ensures clarity. Importance of filling a research gap. Addressing a research gap is importantly because it ensures originality, adds value to academic work, and helps to solve real world problems. Filling gaps in research contributes to knowledge enhancement and supports evidence based decision making. To sum up, identifying a research gap ensures that your study is original and impactful. As I discussed what a research gap is, why it's important, different types of gaps, and how to identify and address them, I encourage you to start analyzing research papers critically and look for gaps in your area of interest. If you have any questions or need help, feel free to comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more research tips. See you in next video. Thank you so much for watching.